I audited 47 popular hydration habits recommended by doctors, nutritionists, and wellness influencers online. Here is everything I found. And what I discovered should genuinely alarm you. You have been told your entire life to drink more water. 8 glasses a day, half your body weight in ounces, flush the toxins, stay hydrated. It is plastered on every health website, whispered by every personal trainer, printed on every wellness calendar. But here is what nobody tells you. When researchers at the University of Maryland Medical Center studied hyponatremia cases in 2002, they found that a shocking number of those hospitalized were not dehydrated. They were overhydrated. They were drinking too much plain water, and their sodium levels had dropped so dangerously low that their brains began to swell. One of those cases involved a marathon runner who drank over 6 liters of water during a race and collapsed at the finish line. Not from dehydration, from water. So before you grab that next glass, you need to hear what I found. So here is where we are. You are standing at a fork in the road right now, 2 completely different paths, and the one you choose determines whether your hydration routine is actually building your health or quietly breaking it down from the inside. Path A is what almost everyone is doing right now. Drinking plain water, lots of it. Following the generic advice, feeling proud about hitting that daily gallon, assuming more water equals more health. It feels responsible. It feels disciplined. It looks great on a habit tracker app. Path B is what a much smaller group of people have figured out. They are drinking smarter, not just more. They understand something called the electrolyte balance. They know that water is only half the equation. And their energy levels, their cognitive function, their muscle performance, and yes, even their organ health are operating on an entirely different level. These 2 paths look almost identical at the start. That is what makes this so dangerous. Let me show you where each one actually leads. Path A starts with the best intentions. You wake up, you slam a glass of water first thing in the morning, you carry your Stanley cup everywhere, you download an app that reminds you to drink every 45 minutes. You are hitting 100 ounces a day, maybe more. And for the first few weeks, you feel great. Maybe even amazing. Your skin looks clearer, you feel less foggy. You think this is working. But here is what is happening underneath the surface that you cannot see. Every single time you drink a significant volume of plain water, your blood becomes more diluted. Your body has a very precise sodium concentration it needs to maintain, around 135 to 145 milliequivalents per liter. When you flood your system with plain water repeatedly throughout the day without replacing the electrolytes you lose through sweat, breathing, and urination, that concentration starts to drop. And your kidneys, which are working overtime to process all of that water, begin excreting the very minerals your heart, your brain, and your muscles depend on. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, chloride, gone, flushed out, and you had absolutely no idea it was happening. So what does the end of Path A actually look like? It does not look like a hospital bed for most people. It is much more subtle than that. It looks like chronic fatigue that no amount of sleep fixes. It looks like muscle cramps that show up during workouts for no obvious reason. It looks like brain fog at 2 p.m. even though you slept 8 hours. It looks like headaches that feel like a band tightening around your skull. Sound familiar? A 2018 study published in the journal Nutrients found that even mild electrolyte imbalances, the kind most people never even get tested for, were directly linked to reduced cognitive performance, increased fatigue, and muscle dysfunction. And the terrifying part? The symptom profile of mild hyponatremia, which is low blood sodium, looks almost identical to dehydration. So what do most people do when they feel fatigued and foggy? They drink more water, and they make the problem worse. They are trapped in a loop, drinking water to solve a problem that water is creating. Now let me show you Path B. And I want to be very clear. Path B is not about drinking less water. This is not a video telling you that hydration is bad. This is a video telling you that hydration without electrolyte balance is incomplete. Think of your body like a very sophisticated electrical system. Water is the conductor, but without the minerals, the electrons have nothing to carry. The current does not flow. Path B starts with understanding that your body loses sodium, potassium, magnesium, and chloride constantly. Every time you sweat, every time you exhale, every time you urinate. These are not optional minerals. They are the minerals your nerve cells use to fire. Your heart muscle uses to contract. Your brain uses to regulate fluid at the cellular level. People on Path B do a few specific things differently. First, they pay attention to when they sweat most heavily and they replenish accordingly. Second, they eat mineral-rich whole foods including things like avocado, leafy greens, and real sea salt rather than processed table salt. Third, and this is the part most people skip entirely, they supplement strategically. Not with sugary sports drinks loaded with artificial dye. With clean, properly dosed electrolyte support that matches what the body actually loses. Here is what changes when you actually commit to Path B, and I am not talking about some dramatic transformation you see in a 30-day challenge video. I am talking about the subtle but compounding physiological differences that show up over weeks and months. Your cellular hydration improves, and there is a difference between your cells being hydrated and your blood simply having a lot of water in it. Cellular hydration means the fluid is actually getting inside the cell where it can be used for energy production, waste removal, and nutrient delivery. Research from the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that optimal electrolyte intake was associated with significantly better physical endurance, faster cognitive response times, and improved mood stability compared to water-only hydration groups. Your muscles stop cramping randomly. Your afternoon energy crash gets flatter. Your sleep quality, which is surprisingly tied to magnesium levels, often improves without any other change. And here's the one that surprises most people. Your thirst signals become more accurate. When your electrolyte levels are balanced, your body becomes far better at telling you when it actually needs fluid, rather than sending false signals driven by imbalance. You stop white-knuckling your way to a gallon a day and start drinking in a way that actually works with your biology. So how do you actually know which path you are on right now? Here is a quick self-audit. 3 questions. 1. Do you drink more than 64 ounces of plain water per day but still feel fatigued, foggy, or get frequent headaches? 2. Do you exercise regularly and rely on plain water before, during, or after your workouts without adding anything else? 3. Has it been more than 6 months since you last had blood work that checked your sodium, potassium, and magnesium levels? If you answered yes to any 2 of those 3 questions, there is a very real chance your hydration routine is working against you. Now here is where most videos stop. They tell you the problem and leave you with some vague advice about eating more bananas. But the honest truth is that food alone is often not enough, especially if you are active, if you sweat heavily, if you live in a hot climate, or if you are under chronic stress. And this is the part of my audit that I want to be very specific about, because there is a lot of noise in the supplement market. Not all electrolyte products are created equal. A lot of the most popular options on the market are essentially rebranded sugar water. They contain 21 grams of sugar, artificial coloring, and a negligible dose of actual minerals that your body can barely absorb. What you actually want to look for in an electrolyte supplement is this: a meaningful sodium dose, typically between 500 and 1,000 milligrams per serving for active individuals. Potassium in the 200 to 400 milligram range. Magnesium, ideally in a form like magnesium citrate or glycinate, which has higher bioavailability than magnesium oxide, and absolutely 0 artificial dyes or excessive added sugar. After going through dozens of options during this audit, the product that consistently hit those benchmarks and stood out for its formulation transparency is linked in the description below. It is what I personally added to my routine and what I recommend to anyone serious about moving from Path A to Path B. 1 serving in your morning water. 1 serving after exercise. That is it. That is the first step. It is a small change. But the compounding effect on your energy, your clarity, and your long-term health is anything but small. The link with a discount code is below. Go check it out and see if it makes sense for you. Before you go, a few final things. If you have been experiencing chronic fatigue, muscle weakness, irregular heartbeat, or persistent headaches, please do not self-diagnose based on a YouTube video, including this one. Get blood work done. Ask your doctor to specifically check your serum sodium, potassium, and magnesium levels. These panels are inexpensive, widely available, and will give you real data to work with rather than guesswork. If this video shifted how you think about hydration, do me a favor and hit the like button right now. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who are quietly suffering through symptoms they do not understand. Subscribe if you want more audits like this one, because I have got deep dives coming on the sleep supplement market, the protein powder industry, and what your morning routine is actually doing to your cortisol levels. All of that is coming, And if you have a friend who is constantly tired and drinks tons of water, send them this video. You might be doing them a real